Hello. It has been quite a long time since I've made a video, but that is because I've been very busy this semester, and that is what I am going to talk to you about today. So I am a film student at Ringling College of Art and Design, and I just finished my junior year. Before I start, if you're really interested in specific projects or like just really broken down experiences, I have a blog for all of my schoolwork that I have been updating, so I will link that in the description for you. Junior year has been my favorite year so far. So first semester I had producing, documentary and experimental video, psychology, advanced screenwriting, and costume design. Junior year at Ringling in the film department, you do what's called junior project. Everyone makes a film and we work on each other's films. They break the class into two different parts. One of the parts does producing the first semester and the other class does directing and all of the other set jobs, and then second semester we switch. Producing the first semester, I paired up with a director to work on their project. Now, I have to say I'm not really a fan of producing. So, producing is a big job. It's basically all of the logistics behind a film. So getting all your forms and all of the budget stuff.
Production Bible. Got lots of stuff. Lots of forms, and have dividers because they're really organization. I've only been producing for a month. Here is my calendar, and here's the shoot, which is tomorrow.
In producing, you do producing for one film, first assistant directing for another film, and second assistant directing for another film. First assistant directing is probably one of the most stressful jobs on set, if not the most stressful job on set, because you're basically in charge of the schedule. And second assistant directing, you're in charge of taking actors to and from the set, filling out the daily production report, and sending it at the end of the day on our sets. The second AD does DIT as well. So that class was a lot of work, but it was really fun. The other class that's required by the film department is advanced screenwriting. And in advanced screenwriting, you write a script to be considered for thesis. Thesis scripts are anywhere from 6 to 20 pages normally. At the end of junior year, they make a pool of scripts and everyone has to read all of the scripts. And then we have a voting system, and the faculty also has a voting system. The ones that have the most votes with both get to pitch. So the pitches are a director and a producer combo, and they go in and pitch it to the faculty. The advanced screenwriting class that I had was kind of not that structured. We didn't really have too many due dates, which I thought was a problem. We ended up not reading some people's drafts that many times. A lot of the critique that I got in that class was really helpful, and it was nice to not have to completely stress about it just because of how much work junior project was. I wish that there was a little bit more structure to that class, and I think that it changed the next semester and it's probably still going to be changing. So I took a hybrid psychology class, which means that you have two in real life meetings of the class, and then the rest of it is online. You have to take quizzes and write stuff every week, and it was nice to have the flexibility in my schedule so that I could work on stuff for the films that I was working on. I highly recommend doing a hybrid class if you get the chance. Documentary and experimental video was technically a photography class. I don't know why, but I took it because I'm a photography minor. It's a big class. Over the course of the semester, we worked on 3 different projects. The first one was stop motion, time lapse, or slow motion. The second project was taking some sort of sound that was already existing and then making an experimental kind of film around it. And then the third project is the biggest one, and we didn't get that project until the end of the semester, which was... I did a documentary on the local community theater called The Players. We should have been working on it the entire semester because it was a huge project. And I basically ended up shooting it and editing it in about 2 or 3 weeks, which was kind of crazy. I also think it was a pretty big project for each individual person. Don't you just hate when you forget to talk about something and then you have to set everything back up again? I forgot to talk about costume design. Most of the people in that class were either CA or illustration. We only got to actually make a costume for one of the last projects. That was probably my favorite project because I do cosplay and stuff, and me and my friend made this cool gypsy costume. I applied my film to the assignments that we were doing so that I could be working on my film and developing the costumes for that that in that class. And yeah, that class was super fun. I would highly recommend it. So, second semester was crazy. Junior project class. This is the other half of the class that is not producing. So I paired up with a producer to produce my film. The other jobs that I had to do on other people's films were cinematographer, production design, grip, gaff, sound, which was lumped in with production design, first assistant camera, and directing, of course. Cinematography is very intensive role, especially on set. It's very stressful. So I was doing a lot of like my own costume design and some of my own production design with my production designer. It was really fun! I did production design for the last film, but it was very intense production design. I'll show you some of the photos now. I basically had to make like this giant like ribbon exhibit and a bunch of museum pieces, like paintings. I also had to do like this huge costume, like the ribbon monster. I didn't have a lot of time to do much else besides this, which I was fine with. The first month, basically, you do rewrites on your script. We have so much stuff to do that I think we should have gotten into that sooner. That's just not how it works. I'm not bitter at all. My battery just died on this. I need to talk less when I film. Okay. Fixed it. So in relation to the junior project, I also took a class on production design, and it's a new class for the sophomores. We ended up doing it as a kind of independent study so that we could do our production design for the films that we were working on. We started off with painting a bunch of furniture yellow, and then we were working on stuff for my film. We had to make giant stage props. We made like a giant moon, a bunch of stars, and a bunch of painted flowers. So I aged a bunch of cards and some paper, and I did these drawings, technical flower drawings, and I designed a poster. And the course that I took for my photography minor was studio lighting. It's like a prerequisite for a bunch of the other photography classes, and it's required for the photo minor. It's all shot in class, which is nice, and we worked with a bunch of different sorts of lighting. High key, low key, tabletop, and then alternative lighting. So all the shooting was done in class in the studio. We were using the backdrops. We worked in teams. And then the last class that I took this semester is interior design history, which I'm not gonna lie, I did not really choose this class because it was my only option. But I digress. I needed an advanced art history credit. I didn't want to do all of them in my thesis year because I know the thesis is going. I decided to do one this semester, and the only one that fit into my schedule is interior design history. I don't mean to knock interior design, but I'm just not really an interior design person necessarily. It was everything after the Victorian period. Personally, I like older architecture better, so this wasn't the best class for me. That class was mainly just quizzes and tests, and then the final project, which we had to design. It was like a modern space, but it had to have classical elements from whatever style or period that you picked. I chose Victorian because I love Victorian design, just in general. So I made this. And then I also had to write a paper on it, which isn't very exciting, so I'm not going to show you that. My entire semester was basically eaten up by being on set. As a film major, we'd have to be on set every Friday and Saturday. We don't really get that many days off. And then, at the end of the year, we have our screenings. And now, over the summer, we are moving into the brand new soundstage. And that was junior year. My favorite year so far, definitely. If you have any questions about any year at Ringling, or anything, whatever, leave me a comment, and hopefully I'll be back soon with something other than a Ringling video. Thanks for watching. Bye. And just levitate.